Hello, WordNerds! Happy Sunday! It is December 11th, and today we are going to be talking all about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. I'm very, very excited for this chat. So we're going to start with a star rating like we do for our book club. And on my farthest left is Desiree. So out of 5, what would you give the movie?
Okay, out of 5, I would give it a 4.5. And I have a very specific reason that we will get into later. But I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Was it the hair? Knocking off half a point because of the hair.
It wasn't just the hair. There's something else.
Okay.
Erin's next.
I have to give it 5 out of 5 because I have literally been to see this movie 3 times. And it's partly because I had cheap movie tickets, but also because I'm super obsessed with all of his fantastical creatures and I just want more. So.
And him.
5 out of 5.
Emma.
I'm going to give it 5 stars. I've only seen it once, unlike Erin. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. So.
And Kelly.
5 out of 5 for me too. I'm sure there are things about it that weren't perfect, but I can't remember any of them. And this is definitely my new favorite Harry Potter world movie. So.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a 5 stars for me as well. Like there are a couple things that I do have as critiques, but they're so like I just don't even care enough for it to bring it down at all. So I'm very excited. Let's start with the hair because that's what we were talking about before we went live.
Desiree has feelings about this.
I just Ezra Miller is one of my favorite actors. I think he is so talented. I think he is very handsome. And what they did to that poor man's hair is just unacceptable. I'm sorry. They just put a bowl on his head and just cut around it. That is not a hairstyle.
It's a crime against humanity.
I think they were like, Ezra Miller is too attractive. What can we do?
Give him a bowl.
How can we make this terrible?
It worked for his character because he was like really creepy and that was like kind of the point of his character. But the whole time I was like, Ezra, why did they do this to you? Why did they do this to you?
I remember the very first commercial that showed him. I was like, oh.
What is that?
Oh. Speaking of
it worked though for the super creepy kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, it worked for
unfortunately it did, and I think that kind of makes it worse. Like, I'm mad, but I know that was the correct decision for the production team to make. So I'm just mad for no reason.
Just final warning, there's going to be so many spoilers in this video, so please X out right now if you don't want to be spoiled, because I'm moving straight into the biggest spoiler this moment. But speaking of hair, did anyone see the Grindelwald thing coming?
And
I think it had spoiled for me somehow.
I got spoiled, so I saw it coming.
Wait, about who was playing Grindelwald or who Grindelwald?
About Graves being Grindelwald.
No.
It wasn't spoiled for me, but I definitely picked up on it. Like, obviously the big reveal moment was the Deadly Hallows necklace, but before that I was like, yeah, this guy's, I either thought he was Grindelwald or like a follower of Grindelwald. Right. And then it was confirmed.
I guess he was a follower the whole time.
Yeah, having it actually be him felt a little forced to me. Like, oh, we need to tie this into the big series arc that we've now decided we're going to create. So let's put the bad guy in this, even though it doesn't really make sense. Like, he's probably got better things to do.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I mean, he was trying to be a thing.
Yeah, because, my little brother, he's a teenager, and he's, read the Harry Potter books. No, he hasn't even read all the Harry Potter books. Who even is he? Come on.
Rachel?
But he watched the
Shade at Rachel, who's not here.
Yeah. He watched the first newspaper thingy where you see the back of Grindelwald's head. And the first moment he saw Graves, he guessed it was Grindelwald because they have the same haircut.
That's what
Like from the very first shot.
Yeah,
I
see,
did not pick up on that.
I got
I didn't
majorly
either.
spoiled before I saw it. Like I was scrolling through Twitter and there was a website that had tweeted and they tried to cover the spoilers, but the spoilers were still there. But anyway, they didn't catch all their spoilers in the tweet. So I got spoiled. And so to me, it was super obvious because I knew. Like I was like, how did nobody know this? Like, cause yeah,
I'm just like, I'm super not observant because like as soon as we came out of the first time Sean and I saw it a couple times with friends and then with him, and he was like, oh, I knew right away because they had the same weird haircut, and I'm like, I did not pick up on that at all.
Second time.
I didn't pick up on that either. Like, I knew it was Grindelwald. Like when I saw the Deathly Hallows insignia, I was like, oh,
Oh
okay,
yeah, then you know right away.
Right, but my mom has read all of the books and seen all the movies, so I don't know why she didn't get it. But she didn't. She was completely clueless. It's still like as soon as when it started to be revealed, all she did was like hit my shoulder, like, oh my god, look at this! I'm like, Mom, we're watching the same movie. I see it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so did you guys know about the big reveal at the end? Oh my God, it's Johnny Depp. Did you guys see that coming? Like, did anyone spoil it for you or anything?
I knew because I think they had
Johnny Depp, yeah.
Yeah, because I think what it was is I think it was like a couple days before the movie came out. They announced that they had cast Johnny Depp, so everyone was like, "Oh, Johnny Depp is going to play him in the next movie."
That's what I thought.
No one was expecting him to be in this movie because they announced it so close to the movie coming out that everyone thought it was like a we just cast him.
Well, I
thing.
think they did that deliberately so that because
Yeah,
when I was in the theater, it went and he was revealed. I was like, "What the?" Because I had no idea Johnny Depp was anyway associated with any of it. And my entire theater gasped, which I love. I love reactions like that.
You always
Every
go to like
reaction
reactive
that.
theaters. I'd never done
Yeah,
that.
I love it. I love it. But everyone was like, "What the hey?" Like none of us knew that it was going to be Johnny Depp revealed because this was like the second night it opened or something.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's why they announced it so close.
I think they announced it right before it came out so that hopefully when people saw him, they'd know it was Grindelwald to help people like make that realization.
See, I read that he was going to play a major role in the second film and that he was going to make a brief appearance in the first one.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And
I didn't read that at all.
Spoil me for the end because you see the back of his head at the beginning, and I was like, oh, that's Johnny Depp. There's his brief appearance.
Yeah. Or like you could have seen him at the end and had him not be Graves. You know, Graves could have gone to him at the end or something. You know.
Yeah.
I totally
didn't pick up on the
I had no idea, and actually I kind of was glad I didn't because it made it like 100 times more surprising when although it's funny because at the time when it was revealed I was like, that's so cool, but if someone had before been like, oh, Johnny Depp's in this, I'd be like, why? No.
I still felt a little like, why?
Yeah,
I still feel a little bit like that I don't want him because he's like, I don't know. I used to really, really like him, and I like him less now for some reason. Well, there are legitimate reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like him less. But I still think he's gonna make a good like deranged Grindelwald. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what the thing is that Grindelwald says to Newt at the end?
No.
No.
I have looked everywhere trying to find out what it is.
I've watched it 3 times, and every time
I'm like, die a little or something.
I don't know. Mumbling. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I was at Barnes & Noble yesterday and saw the screenplay. I should have picked it up and checked.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It'll be in there.
This is already a Google search. What did Grindelwald say?
People are saying that he said, will we die just a little? That's what people are saying it was.
Yeah.
So,
will we die just a little?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Will we die? This is a question. Will we die just a little?
Will we die just a little?
Someone tell me
it'll be important later.
I thought
I've read
he said, like, will we
crackpot
die?
fan theories about it. So I've seen like some people wonder if like Newt was actually secretly like at some point a Grindelwald supporter because he jumps to like the I'm not some Grindelwald fanatic really quickly when he's
I
being
wouldn't be
interviewed.
surprised.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised, especially with the comment that they made about his brother. Like that comment, it was so small, but it was so like important. I was like, oh my god,
that's
character
true.
building.
yes,
What the heck?
yes. I was like, oh my god, this is so crass tastefully done. Like, it's just
Welcome to J.K. Rowling.
It was just one comment, and it has thrown my life out of whack ever since I saw the movie. So what does it all
He just
mean?
said the war hero, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he
Yeah,
said.
just his brother was a war hero.
And they're like, no, it's his little brother. And then
And
he's
now
like,
I'm just
ouch,
like,
Newt.
oh my god. I love, but see, that's one of my favorite like tropes is like the younger sibling living in the older sibling's shadow. I know it's so played out, but I love it. Every single time it happens, I'm like, yes, do that.
Yeah, I also wondered how, like, because Newt is the one that reveals him in the end with the spell. And I'm like, how did he just assume that that guy wasn't who he said he was and that he was hiding something? I don't know if I would have assumed, though. Obviously,
that was
he's
one of the
disguised
things
himself.
that I had like a wait a minute moment about.
Yeah, I thought of that. Like, oh, how does he know that he's not who he says he is?
How awkward would it have been if it was actually just Graves?
It was just like, what are you doing?
He's like, dude, come on.
That would have been really awkward.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed in the second watch that I didn't notice the first time I watched it was in the scene where they're being questioned by Graves. He's got the hallows sticking out of his pocket the whole time. The entire time.
Interesting. I have to go see this movie again now.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
For the fourth time.
I'm interested to see, since they're going to continue like the Grindelwald thing, but they're also going to continue with Newt. Like, I'm interested to see like how Newt's story is involved in all of that.
Well, I think it will have something to do with the fact that Graves asked why Newt was one of Dumbledore's favorite students, and then second of all, why Newt later has his book like at Hogwarts, right? Like, I assume he'll be in like a very big part of Dumbledore's life. I hope. So I hope.
And it just seems like he's like just this guy who collects animals, and I'm like, how is he involved? And like, I don't know. It's just like because in the Harry Potter series, we don't hear a ton about the whole like Grindelwald War or anything. But it's just like Newt's never like mentioned in conjunction with that. I don't know. So I'm just like interested to see like.
I think they have so
like,
much
he's always
room,
just talked
though.
about as like this guy who wrote this book, never like, oh, he fought against Grindelwald or like instrumental in bringing him down or anything like that. Even I think like. The author blurb in Fantastic Beasts, I don't think says, like anything about Grindelwald. So it'll just be interesting to see like how they weave his story in.
Well, I think they also have a lot of room to do that though, too, because the only person that was ever mentioned in regards to bringing Grindelwald down was Dumbledore. So they have, a lot of room to play with, which is exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Like,
and 5 movies.
I know.
Yeah.
So
I was
many.
really mad about it
The
at
next
first.
one is for 2 years.
I know.
Oh no.
It hurts.
That's so sad. I'm very sad.
I'm very, very curious to see how they bring Jacob back.
Yes,
I really want to know.
Kowalski's my favorite character.
So good. Oh my gosh. One of my very favorite parts is when Newt steps in, they're in their bedroom and he's drinking hot cocoa. Yes, and Newt steps in the suitcase and is like, and then claps his hands over his mouth. He's just so good. Oh my god. And the giggle water.
Yes, the giggle water. Jacob, he's just such a well-written character.
Yeah.
Like, he's
So
my favorite.
good.
Like, he is my favorite character in the whole movie. I have to say, like 100%.
I definitely like from like when they first released like the character descriptions and like even like the trailers and stuff. I thought he was going to be annoying. Like I was like, oh
Yeah, I thought that
the
too.
Muggle character. Like he's gonna be this like comedic tag along thing, but he wasn't. Like I feel like he was really well written. It was like a much better character than I expected him to be.
Totally.
Yeah.
And like he was funny, but only in that he responded the way an actual Muggle would respond.
It's funny because so full disclosure, if anyone's, just tuning in now, I've literally seen the movie 3 times. I love it. But I definitely found the second and third time I went, I wasn't going for the main plot anymore. Like I liked it the first time. It was intriguing with like what the heck is that called that the guy turns into?
The Obscurus.
Yes, thank you. I wasn't going for that plot line and the Grindelwald plot line and stuff because I'm like, I've seen it. I'm good. I was there for the Fantastic Beasts and for Newt and for like the space in the suitcase and the, chasing that Niffler thing all around the bank. Like those are my hands down favorite parts.
And I think that's what, like, as I loved this movie, but I'm still like cautious about the rest of the movies because like we don't know like what direction they're going into, and like I don't know if it's gonna, like, if it goes just more and more into this whole Grindelwald thing, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it as much because I really liked the Fantastic Beasts aspect of it.
Which is why you wonder how they're going to blend Newt and his Fantastic Beasts into the story and how they'll keep that kind of feel of like whimsy to it, right? Because Harry Potter did, well, there were still, lighter parts towards the end, but it became very, very dark. So I wonder if this series will go the same way, Kind of has to, I guess.
Yeah. And I think I'm also cautious just because of the whole 5-movie thing. I'm like, do they really need that many movies for this story? So like, I'm worried it'll end up feeling too drawn out.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm guessing because I know they're going to have a young Gandalf, and I assume they're going to have...
Dumbledore.
Oh my God. Mixing up my fandoms. Crap.
I would pay good money to see a young Gandalf.
That would be amazing too. I mean, crossover. Anyways, they're going to have a young Dumbledore and his relationship with Grindelwald, which will be super interesting, and then the duel and everything. Maybe they'll have his rise to power or something, but I wonder how much else they have planned, because that's all that I've read that they've said.
Yeah, I was a little more skeptical going into this movie, and it wowed me enough that I'm just kind of like, Joe, I'm going with you wherever
I'm
you
going
want
for
to
the ride.
Yeah. Where you lead, I will follow.
Yeah. Anywhere.
I'm really excited for the relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald. I said Dumbledore this time, damn it. Be careful. Because like there was no like LGBT characters in the series except for like, oh, let me tell you this character was as like this big after sight, which I'm like, it's cool that you told us that, but it would have been cool to have some actual representation. So I don't know.
It didn't even think about the fact that like that would wow, I can't believe
I think it'll also be interesting because we're seeing their relationship at a later stage in life. Like they're already like what, like in like their like 60s or something. Yeah. Where like a lot of that happened because like we were talking, Michael and I were talking about like Ariana Dumbledore and all of that. We're like, well, that probably won't show up unless it's a flashback.
Yeah,
that
unless
they
do
were a lot younger.
Right. I didn't think
they were a lot younger.
That's true. Are we hoping for flashbacks? I'm always so like,
I am. There's a lot that like I really want to see. Like
we might get flashbacks because there's 5 movies.
I think like, do you think Ariana Dumbledore was an Obscurial? Like, do you think that's what happened? Because I would love to see that scene.
That's what I think. I know a lot of people think that.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
More like a lot. Like they made it much bigger shortly after or right before the movie came out.
Yeah, I think it was right after.
That would make sense.
Yeah. It like explains a lot about her story and like what happened to her.
I would love to see like that scene. I think it would be really like you would learn a lot about the Dumbledore family from just that one scene.
I'm so excited.
We could have seen that scene if they'd actually included it in Deathly Hallows, but like they were supposed to.
Yeah, I really just hope that we do see some of Dumbledore because he's like a positive LGBT character. The only LGBT character we've seen in this universe so far is like the super bad guy. So it'd be nice to, I mean, and he's representation on screen, but he doesn't do anything other than pet a little kid creepily on the head type thing. Like, it would be nice.
Grindelwald. I was like,
Grindelwald. Sorry, I'm talking about not Dumbledore.
I was like, who the heck is she talking about?
Grindelwald. Which I don't think, for the record, is any form of him being weird. He's just trying to comfort him. But I know people have said like, oh, he's like a gay character and he's like being weird and inappropriate with this boy. And I'm like, I don't think that was it at all. Thank you for ruining it. But I'm hoping we see like some positive rep in Dumbledore in the next couple movies. So
I definitely felt uncomfortable every time Graves was interacting with Credence, though. Like something about their interactions always put me ill at ease.
He was definitely weird, but I don't know if it was like I don't think it was a sexual thing. I just think that he was trying to manipulate
he's
him.
manipulating him.
Yeah. It wasn't.
I mean,
anything.
if you think about it, that would have been the best way to manipulate Credence, because Credence grew up in a household where he was not offered any sort of comfort in any form.
Mm-hmm.
So that would Grindelwald would know that is the way to manipulate him.
Yeah.
So.
Try to be like a father figure.
Surprised by how dark this movie went, by the way.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
Like, both with like the Credence and the abuse thing, and then also like the scene where they almost like killed him. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. And the scene where the politician's son dies.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty graphic.
Yeah.
I was like, there are a lot of kids in this theater. I am worried.
Well, even
because
because he gets thrown up, and when he came back down, like, dude, his face is crushed. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the death penalty.
Yeah. So like when they're like, in the room with Graves, and Graves is like, put them to death, and I was like, what?
Excuse me?
I was like, there's a wizarding death penalty.
Escalating quickly. Like, we have no proof that you're working with Grindelwald, but we're just gonna kill you.
Yeah, that part irritated me.
Yeah, but then the actual death penalty itself was very disturbing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That whole scene.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, pool of acid. That makes sense.
Right.
Basically, I came out of that movie. Where did you this? Like, the American Wizarding world sucks.
Hopefully they did away with that practice.
Yeah, hopefully it's better now.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're allowed to like associate with and marry Muggles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope so too. That was crazy. I was like, interesting.
Yeah, I found that really interesting because the leader of the American wizard, I can't speak today. Yes. She's a person of color, and that back in that day, the whole thing would have been like outrageous or whatever, but it's okay in the wizarding world. But they do have prejudice. It's against Muggles.
Yeah.
But I found that very interesting. Yeah.
Well, on that topic, like another thing that I thought was really interesting, like as soon as like the movie came up, was like the 3 of the 4 main characters have traditionally Jewish last names, Goldstein and Kowalski. And I was like, that's a very interesting choice. And I think it says a lot about what, like, that is supposed to, like, represent, like, the wizarding world in general. And I thought that was a really good choice.
Yeah. And the movie's supposed to span, like, 40 years, right?
Yeah,
So
and
like
5, I think.
Are they gonna like age Eddie? What are we gonna do to Eddie?
Well, there's 2 years in between every video.
This is true.
Yeah.
And wizards live longer, so I figure that's not just...
That's true.
Yeah.
I have a question. So something that has bothered me about this movie since, like, after I came out of the theater. So we're just gonna like say just in America, because we don't know what England was like, what Wizarding England was like in the 20s. But in America, like we were talking about, it's illegal for a witch or a wizard to marry a nomad. But Ilvermorny, their founders were a witch and a muggle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is something that they do not talk about.
Yeah.
But
I think that, like, it's definitely, like, a reflection of, like, American history with, like, witches. It's, like, Puritan history. I think it's probably had a lot to do with Puritan history is what I'm thinking. They, like, when they had to go into hiding, they're like, it'll just be safer. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's always been the law, but I think it became this will be safer for us. Not like it's a bad thing, but it'll be safer.
That makes
but it's turned into a prejudice, definitely. You can tell.
Right, that would make sense.
Okay, that
depending on when it was founded. Yeah, if it was founded before the witch hunts or whatever.
Yeah,
I think it was. I read the whole Pottermore thing like forever ago. Like when it first came out, but I was just like, I don't understand. How is there a law when literally like Ilvermorny is supposed to be like the greatest wizarding school if you're from America? If you ask Queenie,
Queenie.
That scene when like she was like Ilvermorny's the greatest, and it was like, no, it's Hogwarts. I was like, Hogwarts. Like, just like the one mention of Hogwarts, I was like, I love Hogwarts so much.
Queenie was the character that I expected not to care for that much.
Yeah.
But then,
I love
like,
Queenie.
yeah, she was so much more complex than I was expecting to be.
Queenie and like Queenie is my second favorite character. I just love how she looks so unthreatening, but she gets her stuff done and she does it well, and I love it. Like, and I love like surprise characters. And
And I think in general this movie did a good job of beating going past some of those stereotypes. It was Jacob and Queenie that like you expected Jacob to be like the bumbling, like annoying nomad, and you expected Queenie to be kind of like the ditzy pretty girl. Yeah.
Right.
One thing I will say is I was really disappointed plot-wise in the fact that he didn't utilize the second Salemers more.
Yeah.
Like that could have been such a cool ramp up. Like not only her getting her little crowd of kids stirred up, but like starting to get the actual city more in an upheaval about witches. Like people actually, if they had started believing her, I mean, it may have been like a too long of a plot arc. I don't know, but I'm like, I think they were really underutilized.
I think that's like one of the weaknesses of this movie is that it tried to combine too many plot lines. Like it had the second Salemers thing, it had the missing beast, and it had the Graves Grindelwald thing. Like it was combining a lot of stuff together.
Yeah,
that's true. I almost wish they hadn't killed that woman off, and that they had her like maybe ramp up more in the second movie, especially with like all of this stuff that just happened, right? Like Grindelwald came out, they destroyed half the city. Most of them forgot, but what if a few, weren't outside and they weren't in the shower and they weren't drinking the rainwater and they remembered or something?
Except the next movie will be in New York, so the next movie's gonna be in Paris, so it wouldn't have been for anyway.
I just felt like there was so much potential for like a big escalation that never happened,
I agree with you. I feel like that politician's younger son is going to remember something. He was like, I feel like he's going to come back because
definitely.
He was just, if he doesn't come back, I'm gonna actually be a little upset because he was focused on too much to end the way that it did.
I hope they don't leave too many like threads dangling.
Totally.
But it's not like J.K. Rowling to leave any threads.
It's true.
That's true. That's very true. There are no threads to be left usually. So.
I mean, that epilogue of Deathly Hallows was like so clean.
It was too much tying up the thread.
So I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Did you guys believe the romance between Newt and Tina? That is her name, right? Tina?
Tina?
Yeah.
No, her name is weird.
Is it not
Porpentina?
Porpentina or whatever.
Porpentina, yeah. I mean, I could believe it was like the beginnings of a romance. Like I didn't feel like it was anything like huge, like we're so in love with each other, but it was like a cute little like I'm gonna come back and see you again.
Like the ending, like the way, like when Newt got on the boat, I believed that, but like right after like the death chair scene, like it seemed like it was like instant, and I was like, wait a second, I don't think so. But like that was the only part, like that part bothered me about their romance, but like when
I forgot about that part. So.
Yeah, because that was the first. I knew they were gonna put them together. Like I already felt it. So I was just waiting.
In like the biography, I think in the back of Fantastic Beasts, like the book that came out like however many years ago, it says that he's married to a woman named Tina. So,
does it?
Yeah.
I have to find it now.
So everybody already knew she was his wife. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. I did not know that.
The end was where I felt it the most. Like the very, very end was where I was like, oh, there's the spark I wanted them to have.
Yeah.
It was so cute and awkward. That was my favorite part.
Can I deliver it in
He's going up the ramp. My favorite part is he goes up the ramp and then he stops. And then it keeps going. So awkward. I love you.
I love how awkward he was. Like.
Yeah.
Except sometimes you couldn't understand what he was saying because he didn't open his mouth enough when he was talking, and that did bug me.
Yeah. I had the second time was where I felt like I understood everything he said. The first time I had a very hard time.
Like I feel like it was good characterization that he like barely moved his mouth and stuff, but it also made it really hard to understand him. So it was like, maybe enunciate it a little bit better.
Wasn't the actor pretty awkward in real life? Someone told me. I don't know if that's
true. I don't know. He's adorable. That's all.
He's a
Red Man is adorable. He's amazing, and he had good hair in this movie, so that was nice.
True.
Did it make up for the other guy's hair?
I don't know if it made up for the atrocity that was Credence's hair, but Anthony Redmayne had some nice floppy locks, and I appreciate it.
It is true.
A part of me definitely that it's like
fluffy lock.
I loved the whole scene where they I guess both the scenes where they go inside the suitcase. And part of me just wanted a whole 2 hours of like Newt inside the suitcase taking care of his animals.
Yeah.
And up to that point, Newt had very, very, very few words in the whole movie. He didn't say much at all. And then the second he got down in that suitcase with Jacob, he just, boom, started talking so much. And I loved it.
I love it. Yeah, I noticed that.
I loved all of the animals. They were just so amazing.
Oh my gosh.
The bow truckle is my favorite.
Yeah, so cute.
Pickett the bow truckle is
I feel like the Niffler has gotten so much attention, but the bow truckle is my favorite.
He has anxiety, and the other bow truckles pick on Pickett, and it's
so cute.
That scene when
The highest
want to go back was just so cute.
I was not more anxious throughout that entire movie than I was the part where you think that he's giving up the bow truckle.
Yeah.
I was literally like, go in the suitcase and give away a different bow truckle.
Yeah, right?
I thought that
I was
too.
like, Ew, why Pickett? Give away one of the other bow truckles that was picking on Pickett.
Yeah, give away one of the jerk bow truckles.
The one with a bad attitude. Get rid of that one.
I was so mad. I was like, listen, Newt, if you give away this bow truckle, me and you are gonna have a problem. I was so worried. I was like, oh no. I hope this does not change my opinion of him forever, because it will if you give away Pickett.
I also love the weird sloth mystical thing. I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The what? What was
The
it?
thing that could go invisible.
Okay, I was like, does
Yeah.
anyone actually remember the name of it? I can't.
Yeah. And it was babysitting the one that expanded or shrunk containers.
So good. When he's like, when the invisible thing's going down the hall with the bag. The bag is
It's a demi-guise.
Thank you.
Demi-guise.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you can make invisibility
but-
cloaks out of a demiguise's like fur or something. But they're not as powerful as Harry's, obviously, because Harry's was a gift from death. But yeah, it's how you make normal invisibility cloaks or demiguise.
Thousands of innocent demiguises are killed every year to make people
Oh, no.
invisibility cloaks. Terrible.
Do you think there's like a magical PETA? Like,
Yeah.
for the ethical treatment of magical animals?
Hermione probably founded it, so.
Yeah, probably.
I went and saw the movie with Jared the first time, and we were watching the part where the demiguise is there and the other one. And you know what I'm talking, the expanding and shrinking one. And
I bet less.
Akami.
Yeah.
And that whole scene happens, and I turned to Jared and I was like, this is a movie about witches and wizards, and the most unrealistic thing was that they got that roach into that teacup.
Yeah. That's very true.
Yes. Also, speaking of magical creatures in this movie, I want to know if like some of the like typical creatures like house elves and goblins and stuff, like if they just are different in North America, or if that was just a weird like CGI choice.
Too.
Like in the like secret bar, like the speakeasy thing they go into, there's that like weird house elf creature that's singing, and then like the goblin guy they interact with. I was like, they look different than the ones in the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly different too. So like,
I didn't assume the girl singing was a house elf. I thought
she looks kind of like a house elf, but that's the thing. She looks kind of like a house elf, like very different, like very
Yeah, so I'm assuming she's just something else.
Yeah, I was like,
too.
I want to know if they have different creatures. Like, I don't know. I was like, that's something I've never seen
Yeah.
in the wizarding magical world.
Can we talk about that mating dance?
Yeah.
Absolutely favorite part.
I love that part. I thought it was so
Oh my
cute.
god.
A part of me was like, this is ridiculous and going on for too long, but I love it anyway.
Yeah, I don't care.
I was like, this is completely pointless to the movie, but I love it.
Apparently,
That's
like
so
the Royal
funny.
Ballet helped choreograph it.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
How does that make any sense? The royal ballet needs to
that
rethink.
scene and like the scene with throwing the roach and stuff, like it was just so ridiculous, and I was like, oh well.
I'll allow it.
There has to be some ridiculousness. It can't all be death and gloom.
I totally agree with the roach in the teapot. That's not ever happening. Like, come on. But the whole mating dance thing, I was totally 100% in for. I did not think it went too long. It wasn't long enough.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So good.
Also, Lita Lestrange.
Yes.
Another Lestrange.
That is
Aside
one
from
of the
Zoe
things I wanted
Kravitz in
to
that
talk
picture.
about. Yeah,
definitely want to see
Zoe
more of
Kravitz,
her.
and she's going to be in the next movie, I think.
Yes.
And
Amazing.
that has me extremely excited because this
She's
is
gonna be she's gonna be so good in that part.
she's perfect in general,
She's
and
so
like her
perfect.
perfectness is only going to increase the perfectness of I'm a huge Zoe Kravitz fan. I think she's wonderful. But like one of the things I wanted to talk about is like I'm glad that like Warner Brothers is incorporating another person of color because that really pissed me off. Like that's why I gave it a 4.5 instead of a 5 because Fantastic Beasts is by far the best like Harry Potter world movie that has been produced so far. But I was really, really hopeful that because there was very little representation of people in color in the original Harry Potter series, I was extremely hopeful, and especially since the president of the American wizarding government was a person of color, I was like, okay, so they're gonna have more people of color, right? There was like there's two people that had speaking roles.
Yeah,
and there's a couple extras, and one of the things that like pissed me off the most was the freaking president of the wizarding government had very little lines. And she's the freaking president. And like I usually can get past that in movies, but I was just like I was so hopeful that Warner Brothers would break that stupid pattern. And they just didn't. And that is extremely disappointing to see.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in her character in general. It felt like she was like, Tina, how could you do this to us? And how could you keep such a secret? And it was like, you mean the thing she came to you?
I know.
Twice.
So annoying.
Yeah, I hate that movie.
That was really frustrating. And yeah, like you said, because she's the president, obviously the wizarding world doesn't have those prejudices that would have been there in the 20s, right?
Exactly.
So you, as a movie producer, you can't say, oh, we don't want to have to deal with the sensitive issues. Like, clearly the issues don't exist in this tiny universe that you've created because you've made her the president. You have no excuse not to then have a central main character be like a woman of color, for example.
A person of color. And like that is one of the things that pisses me off because they have no excuse. There is zero explanation that they could give as to why they have so few people of color in this movie, in this franchise.
In New York City in the 1920s.
In New York City in the 1920s, in the wizarding world where prejudice of skin color doesn't exist. It does not. That's not a thing of this world. So there is zero reason why there shouldn't be more people of color characters. And I'm hopeful for the next one, but Warner Brothers has pretty much burned that bridge with me. That is just the thing that I don't expect from them anymore, which is sad. It's
That
really
is too bad. But hopefully they give Lita like a really big role.
I hope so, especially since it's Zoe Kravitz.
I'm so excited for her.
I know. When I saw the casting, I was like, oh my god, you could not have picked a more perfect person to fill that role. Like, so good.
Zoe Kravitz.
And I love that, like, sweet, awkward Newt, like, kind of thing, like, Slytherin, you know, with a Lestrange, like.
I love the Lestrange family like a lot, so I'm really excited to see more of them.
That's what also makes me think that Newt might have been a Grindelwald supporter, especially if he was Lestrange. Like, it would make sense.
That would.
His brother being a war hero, always that like being a reminder, and the fact that he was with someone that was probably a Grindelwald supporter kind of hints to the fact that
like I feel like he either
Yeah.
was a Grindelwald supporter or that was what like drew them apart.
Drew them apart,
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Which would still give him to this like point where he would like maybe realize that Graves was with Grindelwald kind of thing if he still had an experience.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they'll do it. So, because we said like, oh, I wonder how they'll involve Newt in this whole like Grindelwald and Dumbledore thing. I wonder if they'll make like Dumbledore and Grindelwald both be like in his circle of friends or whatever. Like that would be interesting because if Lita like if they were all in that circle of friends or Lita like pulls Newt in or something because obviously he likes her.
Well, I feel like Grindelwald and Dumbledore are a lot older than.
Yeah,
That's
they're like
true.
20 years older. I
Yeah,
But he would have
because Dumbledore
followers.
was one of his like professors at Hogwarts. So.
Yeah.
But if Newt was a follower with
Yeah.
Lita.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope he
I'm
is.
so
Like,
cool.
I hope they
Yeah.
make that choice because I am all about gray area characters. Like, there is no such thing as all good and all bad, and I love when different like things explore that. So I would love it if Newt like was a Grindelwald supporter at one point because that would just add so much depth to his character.
Yeah, that would be
it
really cool.
One of the other representation things that I found really interesting, because there was obviously the poor choice was made to use the Thunderbird as one of the school's like mascots. And then there was a Thunderbird in the movie, but they never named it that.
Right.
And I found it very interesting that they like just didn't name it. Like maybe we just won't talk about it.
They didn't say what it was called?
They never said what it was called.
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird.
But I mean, I think it's pretty clear that it's a Thunderbird. Like for the fans that like know about like some more of like the mystical beasts and stuff, like it's a bird that flew up into the clouds and made thunder and rain. So that would be the logical assumption of Thunderbird. But I wonder if they're going to add like all the animals from the Ilvermorny houses like into the next couple movies because I want to see a Puckwudgie.
Yes,
so bad.
Puckwudgie.
I was so hopeful. I was like, I hope there's a Puckwudgie and Fantastic Beasts, and there wasn't. And I was like, oh, you guys missed a great opportunity for Puckwudgies.
Oh man. Someone made a comment that I had not thought about, but this really is like a game changer in my head. Where is it? Where did it go? Jenna said the pool of acid thing helped me understand Sirius's death finally. It's grated on me since I was a child.
What?
What?
Sirius
I don't get it.
goes into the mirror thing and he laughs and there's like a weird silky thing.
So I think it is something like that.
And I had never thought about how the two may have been like
I was always
connected.
upset that the veil was never explained.
Yeah. They had that was a really cool artifact that could have brought something.
I feel like there was
interesting
so
to the
much cool
series.
stuff in the Department of Mysteries that was never
We
explained.
just never knew.
I love that whole part of the book, and then I was like, oh, I guess we're never going to find out anything about what was in there.
The
I don't think
brains
that she really could not have though, like unless you'd been like, let me sit you down, Harry, and
It's true.
explain all of these artifacts.
But I was so disappointed that I didn't understand
No
any of
way of doing that.
it.
or like a Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them style book, where it's just like
Here's the Department of Mystery.
Department of Mystery.
Yeah, demystified. Now you know what all of the mysteries are.
I was always disappointed that that whole like sequence of scenes was so cut down in the movie because it's so cool in the books and they're like going between all the different rooms.
Yeah.
In the movie, it was just like the room with the prophecies and Sirius falling through the veil.
Still mad about that.
Never forget.
No.
We had another comment. Thank you so much for all of the discussion things going on. I am reading them. Razorwire Reviews said the cool thing about Newt is that he's such an untypical leading character, which I definitely love.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is not the typical male hero. Like,
Yeah.
he's so awkward and perfect. Like,
And he like teared up at parts when like sad things were happening.
yeah.
You almost never see a male character doing.
Yeah.
He responded like a normal human.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I feel
Yeah.
like Tina had a lot of the like typical like hero traits.
That's true.
She was way more
Yeah,
of a
she
Gryffindor if she had, been British.
Yeah. I
what
love
do you- What do you think her?
Go Desiree.
Okay, I was just gonna say, what do you think her Ilvermorny house was?
I don't know them well enough to know what her house would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, okay, it was probably Thunderbird because that's what is the most like Gryffindor, like ish.
Yeah. That's what I like about the Ilvermorny houses is they didn't try to make like equivalencies.
No, they're
You know.
different. They're pretty.
Yeah, they're very
different.
different. They look at like a different part of your character than the Hogwarts houses did.
Yeah.
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 I'm a
I-
horny
Does everyone?
serpent, that's all I know.
I'm a puckwudgie.
I saw that. I was like, well then.
I'm not a Puckwudgie, but I'm a Puckwudgie at heart. That's what I choose. I choose to believe that I'm a Puckwudgie, but it's not what Pottermore told me. Pottermore said that I'm a Thunderbird, which I mean I kind of see, but also I feel like my personality, I am too like concerned about how everyone else is doing and like if everyone else is okay to be any other house than Puckwudgie.
What's the fourth house? What's the other one?
There's Puckwudgie, Thunderbird, I can't
Horn serpent, 'cause that's what I
Horn
am.
serpent, and then
Is that just Slytherin?
No, Horn
No,
serpent
it's not.
Is like
Is that the thing? Is the
Ravenclaw.
houses are very different. Like they,
Yeah,
yeah, they
if
aren't
you-
like
if
equivalent.
you could equate them to Hogwarts houses, Thunderbird is Gryffindor, Puckwudgie is Hufflepuff, Horn Serpent is Ravenclaw, and the last one that I can't remember, but it's like a panther thing. It's like that one does not go with any of the Hogwarts houses, but I guess
Because they
Slytherin.
don't have a like specifically evil house.
No,
Like all of these
it's-
people suck in this one. You're in the group that sucks.
Yeah.
And it's like the thing is like Ilvermorny, like I was saying, they like sort based on like different character traits than
Yeah,
Hogwarts.
their sorting is really freaking cool. Like, I really hope that we get to see it in the Ilvermorny sorting in one of the Fantastic Beasts movies because that is our only opportunity to ever see what it actually looks like. Because, like, apparently it's like statues of each of the animals. When a student goes to where the statues are during their sorting, they will come alive and say that they want that student in their house. And more than one like house could want a student, and then the student gets to pick. And I think that's so cool. I'm just like, please put this in a movie. I need to see it. And it's partially like me, like I'm an American. I live in America, and if I was a witch, this is what I would experience. So please show me.
I would have made my family move to England. I'm very. That's what I realized from this movie and from all this stuff being released about Ilvermorny and stuff. Is I'm very dedicated to Hogwarts. I'm like, nope, Hogwarts is my school. I don't care what anyone says.
I like Ilvermorny. I mean, obviously, it's no Hogwarts. Hogwarts is Hogwarts. And I don't think that anyone expected people to like Ilvermorny more than Hogwarts.
Well, and I think we'll never have the same kind of connection to it as we do to Hogwarts unless there's like a series of movies that takes place there. You know, like we spent, like 6 movies living at Hogwarts education. Yeah, living at Hogwarts, like, so.
Yeah. I really do want more Ilvermorny stuff because as an American, I feel like I need it, like just to satisfy my own pure like fantasy of going to a wizarding school, because like before like J.K. Rowling had come out and say like these are all the schools all over the world, it was like common fan knowledge that like Salem was the American school, and so when Ilvermorny
school,
like she said like Salem is like a wizarding college.
It's not even a college, no. It was like a joke she made, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like, it's some like joke. It's like, I don't know, it's supposed to be like based on some like group in the UK, some women's group in the UK or something.
Okay.
Like, yeah. It was like a reference she was making to that, and it like was never a school, but everyone just assumed it was a school.
Yeah. Everyone was like, Salem, that's obviously where we would go, but no, it turns out it's a Ilvermorny. And so since a lot of like me and my friends that are like super into like the like role playing, like that is like my extremely nerdy side. But like when Ilvermorny came out, we were like, we need all the information that we can possibly get about this place right now.
I need a Canadian school. Was there one of those?
Probably.
They haven't announced very many schools. Like they basically just announced like the one in Brazil, one in North America, one in like Japan. I don't know. I think there were a couple more. I'm sure you have one in Canada sometime. Maybe, or maybe you get to come to ours.
To come to America.
I guess we have no idea like how many wizards there are like in North America. You know.
I always wanted more information on how many there are total. Like
Yeah.
And like, are they more concentrated in certain countries, or are there equal numbers everywhere? You know, like, so I want to know. Because I know like people when she first announced all the extra schools, people were like, well, there have to be more in North America because there's more people in North America. But the question is there a proportionate number of wizards based on the number of people, or are there less wizards in North America, or are there more? You know. So
I feel like just like the way that like it was portrayed in like the Harry Potter series, you'd guess that there'd be more witches and wizards in England, but that's all we've known until Fantastic Beasts. Yeah. So it could, I mean, Brazil could very well be the most concentrated wizarding city, which would be really interesting.
Who knows? Oh, I need all these stats from J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. Please just give me the numbers. Oh, I just thought of another part that I loved so much. So it's at the end again, and Newt is talking to Tina, and he's all like, oh, so moony-eyed, she's so pretty, I'm gonna totally come back here to hand deliver my book. And she's all like, does Little Lestrange read books? And he's like, who? He's like, you forgot her name for just a moment.
Yeah. I thought that was like a cool, like, I don't know, like it was a very interesting choice, and I think it worked out in the end. Like I like the end of like Newt and Tina's relationship. Like that last scene is perfect. It's just that weird, like there was no lead up. Like there was zero lead up because she like really did not like him for a majority of the movie. And then after he saves her life, she's like, wait a second. I think you might be attractive, and I might be.
Maybe you're okay.
Like after like really like scary like situations, if you go through something like that together, that you like are more attracted to the person. So it happens.
Yeah, I believe that. Like I believe that like they genuinely have feelings for each other. It was just weird to me because like the movie wasn't about that. There was no like that was there was like zero like romantic subplot really, except for maybe like with Queenie and Jacob. And Jacob, but like maybe like, and so like the romantic like plot with Tina and Newt was just very forced and very like look at what we're showing you. They're going to be together.
We are all so cute.
They're no Queenie and Jacob though. I'll tell you that, because that was like I was so rooting for that.
So hard.
I love at the end where she was in his shop. I was like, oh
yes.
With all
Oh
the
my
pastries
god.
that look
the
like
bite on his neck. I was like, does he remember? And like
all 3 times at the end I cried. I am not ashamed to admit it. In the scene where he's like where he like opens his eyes and he's standing in the rain and they're gone. I was like, oh my god.
I feel like he must
right
remember
now.
something. I don't know how he remembers, but I feel confident that he remembers something because he didn't look as dazed as everyone else did.
Yeah.
No, and all his pastries, they were all like. I think that Jacob might be a squib. Like, I think that's like a very like plausible theory because he seems to be the only person that like kind of remembers stuff that we've seen, but that could also be chalked up to he had the most, like, the closest experiences.
Yeah, exactly. He had the most
nomad.
exposure.
He had a lot more time with wizards than everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, and she also shielded him from the rain for like a good couple minutes, and then so he only got the tail end of the rain. So
How strong
And he got that weird
being
bite.
rain anyway?
So maybe like the weird magical creature bite introduced something weird into his system.
Maybe. All I know
it'll
is
come
that
back.
if he doesn't come back in the next movie, I will be very upset. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've already announced that he's coming back.
he has to. Like,
Pretty
I need him to drink giggle water again because his squeal laugh.
So like the Seamus blowing things up, just every video he has to giggle water.
Because he was trying to act so serious too. And then, like, he was like, of course I'm still a house elf. My uncle's a house elf. And then he just has this weird little laugh. So cute.
I found it really interesting too. The house elf looks a bit different, but not only that, but like the house elf is sassy. Like I thought they were like all subservient.
Well, and the house elves were all wearing clothes too. I noticed that.
Oh yeah, so they must be different in the U.S. then, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he was like the house elf in the elevator going down. When like the first one we ever saw was kind of like, oh, what are you doing here or whatever. So he's a little bit sassy. And then the one behind the bar was like, sure, whatever, mister, to when he's like, my uncle's a house elf. So I was like, these ones are sassy. So they must be different as well. Interesting. I'm kind of glad about that because I really didn't like the portrayal of house elves. I'm like all Hermione up over here, but I did not like the portrayal of house elves in Harry Potter series because like I found myself twitching every once in a while because I'd be like, they actually want to be enslaved. It makes them all weird when they're not enslaved, and look how sad she is because she's not a slave anymore. And I'm just like, I don't like. I don't know. I just find it weird. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's fiction. They're not real creatures, but I'm still like, still a weird thing to like have in a book, you know?
Yeah, it is a really weird thing. Like now that you're like actually saying it, like that is extremely weird. Like they're slaves and you want to free them, but when they're freed, they're sad.
Yeah.
So it's
and everyone's like, they like working for
them.
Like even, well, Harry never says it, but he doesn't argue either or like help Hermione with spew. But Ron is the one who's like, they like it. They like, you know, and I'm like, okay.
I took the wizard's interpretation of it as the prejudice built in. So like they just weren't thinking about it because they'd been told that for so long.
Because Dobby was never
reaction
sad,
to
right?
it is like the
Yeah, Dobby wanted to be free, but he was like the exception to the rule or whatever.
It was actually really interesting. This is a complete tangent from Fantastic Beasts, but I saw this thing the other day that was talking about how like the whole house elf story and like Ron like is important because it shows, you know, that even like, you know, the good people can like still have prejudices because like Ron is the good guy. He's not, you know, like a Malfoy or anything, but even he's like, just whatever.
Yeah,
You're a little racist. Ron, I read that article. It was like, it's important. Ron is an important character because it shows that like he's good, but he also he like flinches away from Lupin like the first time like they meet because he's a werewolf, and he's like, why do you care about house elves? You know, like that they have no effect on our life whatsoever. Like why? Like why do you care? Like they're here to help us, and so
he's sort of an example of like white privilege. And it was interesting though because I saw someone like comment on that like post and say that like another interesting thing to look at is like Hermione and how she's the person that like is gonna go in and save them. Like she's like the white savior. Like I'm gonna go save these house elves, and like never takes into consideration like what they want or how they want it or any of that. You know, like she's like, house elves, I'm gonna save you, and they're like, who is?
And they're like, well, and then she goes around the part where she goes around and hides the knitted hats under things.
That they don't,
and they're like really offended by it, so they stop. And then Dobby's the one that ends up taking all of the cleaning duties. So she goes in and she effectively is a white savior because she hurts them rather than helping them. No, I never thought about that part either.
Yeah, isn't that? I never thought about that, and I was like, oh my gosh,
very interesting. I wonder if J.K. Rowling like thought of all of this, or she was just like, I'll just make these house elves. Did you think of all of this before?
I definitely think that Ron's prejudice is definitely like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because Harry and Hermione are both coming from outside the wizarding world, so they both have like slightly different. They're like, this is a normal thing, you know, like werewolves.
Yeah.
Harry's
Yeah.
like, what's wrong with werewolves? This guy's really nice, and Ron's like, well, don't you know they're evil or whatever. So you can see that he's got the prejudices of this wizard culture that he lives in.
Yeah.
And then in the last book, Ron is the one who's like, well, we have to go get the house elves.
Yeah. Hermione rubs off on him.
Did Dobby so well. He just never took up arms for the cause because he kind of had some other things going on with all the Voldemort crap. So, so I always took
Voldemort.
Rowling wrote it as not okay through Hermione. It just wasn't the central plot.
I like to think she went on to like help the house elves or something.
And find a good way to help them.
Find a good way, yeah. Not
Instead of just tricking them into taking clothes. And giving them no support system after they're free.
Yeah, that's right.
You're free, you have no jobs. Good luck.
Poor
You have no
Winky.
job,
Anywhere to
nowhere to live.
Yeah.
Nothing to do, no skills. Somebody really did not think that through very well.
That's true.
Should have started like a freed elves bureau or
It's
something.
kind of like the South after Reconstruction.
Right.
Like, we're all free. Good luck.
Yes.
But I was thinking it was like even the South had the Freed Man's Bureau. Like Hermione literally did nothing.
Just
Like,
told
"All right,
Winky
you're
to
free,
cheer up.
goodbye."
Poor Winky.
Everyone's kind of an idiot at 14.
It's
So-
true.
That's true.
This is true. At least she wasn't, just taking on the culture like Ron.
Yeah.
Like
She was a well-intentioned idiot, but
she wasn't like. That's true. Yeah, we got sidetracked. It did.
That's okay, because usually we get sidetracked into Harry Potter, but it works today.
But it's okay today. Yeah.
I'm
Relatively on topic. Did you guys guess that Credence was the Obscurus?
Yes. Well, yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Credence, and I was like, well, maybe it's the little sister, and I was like, no, I think the movie wants me to think it's the little sister.
Yeah, that's how I knew. I was like, this movie is focused way too much on this little girl. It's obviously Credence.
I think I'm obviously really obvious, like really by the movie because I didn't see it coming at all.
See, I just wasn't overthinking things. I was just so in it. I wasn't trying to find subplots or anything. I was just going with it.
I can't help myself.
Yeah,
I'm always
I totally didn't see it coming.
No, I remember even like when they released like the descriptions of all the characters, and they're like, Ezra Miller is playing Credence, and like they described him as like he's the adopted son of like the leader of the Second Salemers, and he's like a troubled kid, and I was like, he's a wizard. Like I was like, he obviously has magic and is like hiding it or something. So I kind of figured.
See, I didn't read any of those descriptions because I didn't want those kinds of clues. I just knew they would like throw me off.
Yeah.
Right. Also, Ezra Miller is a big name like actor, and I was like, "There's no way they're putting him in this movie without him having some significance and giving him that god awful haircut without a reason." So,
You're like, there has to be meaning behind the
there
haircut.
has to. My mom didn't see it coming because we talked about it like in the car on the way back home. She's like, "I didn't see it coming." I was like, "Really? I thought it was extremely obvious." Like, from like after like the second time Credence showed up on screen, I was like, "Oh, obviously it's him. This is the guy." Like I was kind of mad that Grindelwald didn't see that. It's kind of odd. Like it was obvious to me, and like I guess I see like why he wouldn't, because Obscurus are only children. Like
Or younger,
have been children. Like the oldest Newt said was like 13.
I think she was younger than that.
Younger than that.
Yeah, I would say like 10 or something.
Oh yeah. But it makes sense why he wouldn't assume that Credence was this.
And I think he looked down on Credence so much that I think he kind of had the attitude of there's no way that he's a magical person.
Yeah.
Well, he told Credence that he was a squib, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He said, "You're a squib. I smelled it on you the first time I met you," or something.
Yeah.
That part made me sad. I was really sad. I was like, oh damn, Credence did not ask for this.
He didn't ask for the haircut. He didn't ask for the like this.
He was just so sad. Like his shoulders were so haunched like the whole time. All he wanted to do was like find a community that accepted him, and he thought that Graves was it. And like that scene just like broke me. Like just seeing him so sad, I was like, damn. All right, y'all gave him the bad haircut. He's a super creepy kid, and now he's sad. Like, you guys clearly don't like Ezra Miller.
Well, we saw at the end there was one reddish orange Frey that sneaked over the corner and floated away. Rumor has it that that's because Credence is coming back.
Michael's been like watching all these like video reviews, and he's like, "All these people think Credence is coming out back because of this wisp," and I was like, "Okay." Part of me's like, I'd love to see Ezra Miller again, but part of me is also like, I feel like that might be a little too much to be like, "Oh, and he survived it." You know?
I love Ezra Miller. Like, I, obviously, as much as I'm
we
talking
know
about him, I think he's great. But I do not want him in the next movie because that is just—it's absurd to think like the obscurest, like that arc is done. It's done. They did it all. It was good. It was interesting. Let's move on.
Yeah, I feel like
especially if you're gonna backtrack on the memory loss. Like,
exactly. I was about to say, if you bring back Jacob and you bring back like Credence, like it's too much. You can't bring back too many of them. I'd be like, oh, surprise! They actually
none of the stuff that happened at the end actually matters.
Yeah. Right.
So, that's some sort of loss.
Because we know Grindelwald's not staying
locked up. No. He will definitely be back.
Yeah.
And as hard as it is for me to say, I don't think Ezra Miller should come back in the second one. I'll be okay. I just need a second.
I'm curious to see if we'll see the little girl again. I could see them not doing anything with her, but I could also see them bringing her in because she's now seen some pretty hefty magical stuff.
And so I'm like really interested to see like if and how they incorporate like all these characters because they're moving the series to like different cities. So it's like also with like the politician's younger son and all that stuff. I'm like, how is that all gonna like come back into play as they're like going back to Europe in the next one and stuff?
They could not be back till the third one or something.
Yeah.
I will be really sad if we don't see like some of these characters until the third movie. Like, are they going to like? I didn't know that the second one took place in France until you guys said something during the chat.
It's England and France.
See, like that is kind of disappointing, like a little bit because we finally got an American wizarding movie.
Okay, but people in France are probably thinking, this is our turn.
Yeah,
this is a
Come on. Let's just focus on America.
Yeah. The Canadian wizard movie. You had your turn.
I'd like to have a couple scenes of a movie if you want that, I guess, but
I don't know. I just hope, like, I just don't know how they're going to bring back Jacob Kowalski if the movie's set in France, and that's what worries me the most.
Yeah.
Because they're missing out on a wonderful, wonderful opportunity if they do not bring this man back, and they will have problems. Fans love him. Please bring him back.
How old do you guys think Kowalski's character is?
And just like late 20s, early 30s.
Probably 30s. I mean, he fought in the war, right? So.
Oh yeah. So.
You had to have been young enough for that.
30s.
I would say like middle 30s or even late, but
I don't know. People in the 20s look different than they do.
that's true. That's true.
Their style is different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't gauge anyone's age. I'm awful at it. Like,
True.
I think everyone looks like they're in their 20s. Like, everyone's in their 20s.
Because it's like, depending on when in the 20s this movie, I don't know if it ever said a year. Like, it's been like less than 28, so it's been about a decade since World War I ended.
So he could be 28 if he went straight into the military,
18,
which was not uncommon in the 20s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he could be in his, like, he probably is in his early 30s then.
Yeah.
Which would make him...
That puts him out of draft range for World War II.
Do you think that he's the oldest out of the group of characters?
I would think so.
I think so too.
I would guess so, yeah. I have a hard time telling what Newt's age is. A really hard time.
I think Newt is like 27. Like 26. Like 26, 27.
Yeah.
He seems like, I don't know.
Are Tina and Queenie aren't twins, right?
No.
I think
Yeah.
Tina's older, maybe? I can't remember which one's the older.
They said it in the movie, and I think Tina was the older one. Because she was the career woman. She's the one that took care of Queenie.
Yeah. But I always like when it's the younger sister that's like the responsible one. I always like that.
Yeah.
Trope, but yeah. But I think Tina's older. Maybe.
Also,
I know.
It's weird because they could be a lot older because they are like 2 witches and a wizard. They could be in their 50s. And we have no idea.
I know it was on Pottermore at some point when they were talking about like releasing all those character sketches, and they said like Newt Scamander is still alive and 118 or something. But that's a lot more digging than I want to do to find out his actual age. What the year was that they released that. What that subtracts to in 1928.
I already did how old Dumbledore would be in these movies, and I've already forgotten. So
I think it's like mid-40s.
I think so. Because I know he was like in the books, he was like 115 or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
And this is taking place like 70 years before the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
So
according to the Harry
40s.
Potter wiki page, Newt was born in 1897. So
he's about 30?
No, he's like 20.
no,
20, yeah.
23. Like, that's extremely young. That is younger than I thought he was.
Yeah. Basically, in my head, Eddie Redmayne is 34, so that's about what he is.
I had a hard time because he has a face that could play very young also.
Yeah, he does.
And he got kicked out of school, right? So
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
who knows when he started all his adventures.
I love him.
I wonder if he spent a year, like, just moping. Like, oh, man, I got kicked out of school. This sucks.
Got kicked out of school. My brother's a war hero. Just want to hang out with my animals. I bet he and Hagrid would be really good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard a fan theory that, like, Newt is the one that, like, gave Hagrid, like, Aragog.
Yeah.
Because he came in a traveler's handbag or something.
Yeah.
Wait, you said that this movie takes place in 1928, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was 31 in this movie. I was right. Not 20.
Okay, yeah.
31.
I'm kidding.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I did the math right, but
I can't math.
I'm gonna use a calculator just in case.
I skipped the teen numbers.
Yeah.
I forgot that the movies took place in 1928, and I was just doing it in 1920 because
Yeah.
I don't have time for mental math. I was trying to make it easy on myself. Okay, so in his early 30s, that makes sense.
Oh, Eddie. So, looks like we're getting close to wrapping up. Yeah. Does anyone have any final thoughts about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them?
It was good.
It was amazing.
It was very, very good.
That was so good.
I'm sad that we have to wait 2 years for the next
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
hope that it's not 2 years between every movie because that's going to take 10 years.
I know it's 2 years between 2 and 3 also.
Speed this
If
up,
it's
guys.
If it's 2 years between every movie, I'll be 30 when the last one comes out, and I
Wow.
can't think about my life 10 years from now. I don't want to think about what I'm doing tomorrow. So.
Pick up the pace.
I wish
Joe.
I was to be 30 in 10 years.
I'd rather
For
than take
real?
notes. Yeah. I'd rather than take time and make the next one as good as the first one.
That is true.
That's true.
And it works out right now so that the Harry Potter and Hogwarts will be staggered. Or Hogwarts, Harry Potter and Star Wars will be staggered. We'll get Star Wars next year, Fantastic Beasts the year after, and then Star Wars again, and then Fantastic Beasts again.
At least Star
After
Wars
that,
had
we
the
need to
decency
move
to
to
give us
one
the
a year.
anthology movies in between.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching today, Word Nerds. If you haven't seen Fantastic Beasts yet, and we just spoiled everything for you, still go see it.
I still loved it, and I was
amazing
spoiled.
the second time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Please watch it. Next week, we are going to be partying before we go on hiatus. Our hiatus starts on the 19th. So not tomorrow, but the Monday afterwards. Taking that Christmas/New Year's off. And so we're going to be answering any of your burning, writing, and reading related questions, kind of recapping the year, all that fun stuff. We would love to see you there. And we have videos every day of the week. So subscribe. And we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.